Hi and welcome back to my channel. I am Caspian and I read a lot of books. And welcome to my February TBR. So right now I don't really have time to vlog a lot. I don't have time to... Well, that's not right. I do have time to sit down and talk about the books I read sometimes. The problem is I don't really have time to edit the videos. So I'm focusing on these videos, like the TBR videos for now, because I really love my TBR game. So I'm gonna take note from Stephanie's book verse and do what she does at the beginning of every TBR game video. And that is that she goes back to the books that she got the last month and then just says which ones she's read. I'm gonna up that a little bit and just tell you briefly what rating I gave them and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, and then we're gonna get into the game. So I'm not as graceful as her, and there's one book missing, and that's Binti, and I will put it here. So Binti was the book that I got for a free pick. No. Yes. Binti was my free pick. That's the first roll of January. So the first part of Binti, and I gave it 4 stars. And the more I'm sitting with it, the more I really want to know what happens. So yeah, I'm really excited. It didn't feel really good to start off the new year with starting a series when I have so many series that I'm in the middle of. But you know, so that is a sci-fi about this girl that lives on Earth, and she really wants to educate herself, and to be able to do that she needs to go to this other planet and do that, and she gets in to that school, and the first book is about her journey there and the weird thing that happens. So yeah, I'm really excited to know what happens further on in that series. And then I read, I'm just gonna put this down like this because that was hard. So the second book was for a passion pick, or that is a book that I have been looking forward to, kinda. So I chose the 6th book in the Bridgerton series, and I gave it 5 stars. I think a lot of these books are 5-star reads for me. I really enjoyed it. You know, it's a concept. She just sticks with the concept, and I love it. So as I said, I gave this 5 stars, and I'm not gonna really tell you more about it. It's a historical fiction, historical romance, yeah. And then I read Merlin. So I didn't really read all of this. This is like 900 pages, but I read the first book, so I read that part. So 300-ish pages in this book. And this is about Merlin, of course. This is his early years, up until he's maybe in his early 20s. The book is called The Crystal Cave. So in this trilogy there is 3 books, and the first book is The Crystal Cave. I read that one. So I gave this 4 stars. It wasn't as engaging as I would have liked, but the language grew on me, Merlin grew on me, so I ended up giving it 4 stars because I really want to know more about him, even though I don't know how the stories are really connected. So this was a bucket pick. And that means that I ended up on a bucket that is connected to the well, and I got to grab Odin's pick, or because I didn't have any one of those last month, I got to pick a book with a witch, a warlock, or a magical element. So the next one was I ended up on Algis, and that is I chose a book with a wild animal on the cover because I couldn't find a book that I owned that had an animal familiar, or a book or an animal as a companion, because that's the other choice. So I chose this one. And this is of course a mystery. It's about Mamara Motsway and her #1 ladies detective agency in Botswana, and I perfectly adore these books, so I gave this 4 stars. And it's not that I love them, it's just easy reads. I love the concept, I love that there are more than one mystery in it, and then at the same time like a backstory that we're following, like her life. So yeah, it kind of reminds me of watching Midsummer Murders when I was a kid and a young adult. So really enjoyed this one. And then I got my dad to pick. I got Tiwas or Tyr on the board, and that is a book by a male trans-masc or non-binary author, or your dad a dad pick. And I chose to ask my dad because we were going to the library that you know, in the vicinity of that. I think it was the day after I filmed the board game part. So he chose for me, this is the first book in the Earth-Sea series. And I didn't know it was a series when he picked it for me. And this is one of the weird ones with everything in the back. So this is called A Wizard of Earth-Sea. Yeah, so this is about Ged or Jed, and he's, you know, he's a child. He's like 12 at the beginning of the book, I think. And then he grows up to be around 19. 19 is mentioned at the end of the book. So this is the first, like, that bit of his life, and he is going to a school to become a wizard. And it's about his challenges, and he starts off really arrogant in the book, and I hated him. I perfectly hated him, and the book was really slow. For the first half, I was like, not reluctant to pick it up, but I was like, what can I do with my time otherwise? Oh, I can do this and this and this. And then the second half of the book, it picked up, and I chose to read it when I had other things to do as well. So I read the last third of this book or more yesterday. Yeah. So this was my dad's pick. Apparently he loves this series and Ursula Le Guin. So I am looking forward to finding out what he's up to, Jed, in the other books. I gave this 3.75. I wanted to give it a 3-star after half the book. And then the second half is a 4-star. But I'm reluctant to give the whole book a 4-star, so that's why 3.75, because 3.5 seemed a little bit... I enjoyed the last bit more than that, you know? So 3.75. My dad picked this one. And then the last one was a TBR jar pick. And that is The Kite Runner. And I just have to say, I love this book. I cried, and I ugly cried. If you follow me on Fable, you know I posted at least twice, I think, about ugly crying. I really, really think everyone should read this book. This is horrible, but beautiful, and I know that it's banned in some places, and I think that's just horrific. I can see why, because of what this book talks about and what it pictures. It pictures a life in Afghanistan during the war, and yeah, I understand why some people would like to ban it, because they don't want people to read it. But if you have the opportunity, read it. So those are the 6 books that I got from my TBR game last month, and it is currently the 26th of January, so there's like almost a week left of the month. But I'm not gonna, or like 5 days. But I am currently focusing on a book club book from a book club on Fable, Braiding Sweetgrass. I'm rereading that, so I yeah. So I don't think I'm gonna finish another book this month, except for these 6. So yeah, I'm here to play the game. Let's play the game, shall we? Okay, so this is the board, and I need to find my little friend. I can pick this one. So here's my new little friend. And last time we ended on Tiwas. Tyr or Tiwas, let's see. Here. There. We ended on my dad picking the Earth Sea book. And here I have my my rules so that I can see the spaces. And then I have my dice here that have got stuff at the bottom. No, I'm gonna pick 2 of these. Okay, so 5 rolls, and then I pick a book from my TBR jar that I have behind me. This is my TBR jar. Putting it to the side for now. And I have added a couple of books to my TBR jar because I hold a couple of books for Christmas. So, that came in January. So, we are starting at over here. And I have 2 dice. So let's go. First roll 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Uthala. Udal or Othala. The rune of traditions wants you to journey backwards through time and pick a book with a historical element or historical fiction. Okay. Historical element or historical fiction. For the first pick, I chose this one. I'm actually running out of historical fiction on my shelves if I don't want to read just the same series. So this is, in Swedish it's called Sällskapet by Sarah Penner, and this is, I'm gonna look up the English name, and it is called The London Seance Society. And I've read one book of hers before, the Something Apothecary, that it was like a 3-star read for me, or a 2.5, somewhere along those lines, because yeah, well, I did enjoy it, but it wasn't what I expected it to be. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this. 1873, that's what I saw on my shelf, and I was like, oh good. The spiritualist Vaudeline Delaire is often hired by both widows and investigators to summon the spirits of murder victims and identify their killers. Lena Wickers looks up Vaudeline to find answers about her sister's death, and at the same time she has to overcome her own skepticism against the occult. A mysterious murder soon brings both these women to England, and together with the powerful men of the London Seance Society, they are starting to unravel this mystery. Shortly, they realize that they are not just on their way to solving the crime, but also become nestled into it themselves. So yeah, we'll see what I think about this. Okay, so second roll. 7. And here I'm just gonna start over again when I come to the last one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now I stepped on that on start and finish, and I think that's what I'm just gonna have to do. I made this one just to have a starting point, so I didn't really mean for this to be a space on the board, but I'm guessing it is. So the third rune is Us or Ansus, and This is the rune of air, of breath, and of the highest realms in the Nordic cosmos. Fly high and pick a book with gods or goddesses, a spiritual element, or set in the clouds. Okay. And then for answers, I have 3 fantasy books at home from the library, and none of them seem to have gods or goddesses, or what I would call a spiritual element. And to find a book set in the clouds, I had to go outside of my library TBR, and I was reluctant to. I knew I had to anyway, so I've settled on this one. Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. And this is actually in Swedish. It's a translation. I didn't know that when I picked it up from the library. So I feel like you have to translate everything here. This is set at Christmas, and I saw this in a reading vlog with Gavin Reads It All, and he really loved it. So I know I'm late to Christmas content, but what you gonna do? I don't want to wait until next year, because by that time it's gonna be a long waiting list. So this is basically about a ghost called Nolan Callahan, and he has no plans for Christmas other than to haunt people. When he haunts Harriet York, the sweetest person he's ever haunted, he suddenly wishes for more. He wishes he had a future. Harriet York has no idea why she's being haunted, and in the middle of the Christmas preparations, to add to that, together with Nolan, she starts to dig into the past and finds out that there are threads that bind them together, and they realize that there is more to their relationship than they could have guessed. How should they, a living and one dead, be able to be together? And could the past be the key to a future? It's a hot Christmas romantasy with a magical twist. So I guess I could have picked this for a historical element as well, but it's a spiritual element. So, third roll, 6. Bucket, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bucket, 6. Vunjo. Vinja or Vunjo. The 7th rune. So let's see what that is all about on this board. The rune of joy wants you to enjoy your reading. So pick a book you know or anticipate, you will enjoy or anticipate enjoying. Wonderful. And then for a book I know I will enjoy or I anticipate enjoying. A House with Good Bones, simply because it's T. Kingfisher. Because I've read a couple of books by T. Kingfisher thus far, and I have loved both. I read 3 books. 3 books, yeah. So yeah, let's see what this is about. In this ordinary North Carolina suburb, family secrets are always in bloom. Samantha Montgomery pulls into the driveway of her family home to find a massive black vulture perched on the mailbox, staring at the house. Inside, everything has changed. Gone is the eclectic warmth Sam expects. Instead, the walls are sterile white. Now it's very important to say grace before dinner, and her mother won't hear a word against Sam's long-dead and little-missed grandmother, who was the first to put down roots in this small southern town. The longer Sam stays, the stranger things get, and every day more vultures circle overhead. So yeah, fantasy horror-ish. So I look forward to that. Okay, 4th roll. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh dear. But that's okay. That's okay. Actually, I have the perfect one for that one. And then this was the easiest one, because Jamie Rains is a trans mask author. He's a trans man. He has a YouTube. He's actually started another channel with some booktube content that I haven't really watched that much yet, but I will. So this is his book, The T in LGBT. Welcome to the T in LGBT. From realizing you're trans and coming out to friends and family to understanding hormones, considering surgery and everything in between. This is your one-stop guide to everything trans related. Packed full of advice, tips and personal stories from a range of trans voices and allies. In here you'll find the answers to all the questions you were too afraid to ask. I hope this book will help you learn, make you laugh and inspire you to feel confident in your true self, whoever that may be. So yeah, I've been wanting to read this since it came out, which I think was 2 years ago. Am I right? First published 2023, this edition 2024, okay. Almost 3 years. But anyway, I've been meaning to read this for a long time. So last roll for this time before we go into the TBR jar. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's little dipping in the buckets for this time. So Othala again. Okay, so historical element or historical fiction again. I kind of wished I had gotten a fantasy because I still have 3 books on my library TBR that I want to and need to read in the next 7 weeks. So, okay, I'm gonna go with the 7th book in the Bridgerton series. And I thought this was about the youngest brother, but I'm not sure. Let's see. The bachelor, Gareth St. Clair, has had a fight with his father since the day he was born. Has been fighting with his father since the day he was born. When he refuses to accept the bride that the father has chosen for him, he goes the risk of being, left without inheritance. Just when Gareth is starting to lose all hope, he gets a hold of a diary that once belonged to his grandmother. The problem is that it's written in Italian, a language he doesn't know. Curious and impatient, he goes to his wise grandmother, Lady Danbury, to get advice. And that is when he comes into contact with Hyacinth Bridgerton. Okay, so it's about Hyacinth. Which one of the siblings is left out after this? Please tell me this has one of those. I really, yes, these trees. I can't live without them. Gregory is the brother, so the last book should be about Gregory then. Okay. So yeah, let's read about Hyacinth. So that is it for the board for this time, and I'm a little disappointed that there were no buckets because I did have the well full of books this time from the library. So that's a bit of a shame, but what you gonna do? So no sun and no jar and nothing special happening. So yeah. Okay, so I'm actually not going to pick a book from my TBR jar, because when it comes to my goal of reading from my own TBR, I am doing that this month anyway, because 2 of these books are from my TBR. The first and the first and the last. So the ones with a historical element. And I have too many books at home from the library right now, 2 of which is currently in a poll in a book club on Fable that I am in. So I will wait to see what wins in I think it's 2 days left. So I will wait for that and I will get back to you with that information. If one of those won, I'm gonna read that one. And if none of them wins, then I'm just gonna pick one of them to read. So I will be back shortly with that book and an outro. Okay, I'm back again, and it's Wednesday, and the poll has closed in the book club that I'm in. So the poll was between these two, for me at least. The poll had like 5 books, but I had recommended these for this month, and they were a part of the poll, and this one won. So I will probably read both this month, or maybe I will read this one at the beginning of March, because I'm gonna prioritize this because it won the poll. So let's hope I like it. I've heard so many opposing opinions about this. I started off hearing a lot of good about it, and then I listened to one booktuber, Plant-Based Bride, that completely tore it apart when it came to like the writing, the grammar, and a lot of stuff. And I was like, ouch, will I really enjoy that? But I think I'm hoping to enjoy the story, and also hoping to enjoy the writing style. And let's see if I agree with Plant-Based Bride or if I don't. So, Elspeth needs a monster. The monster might be her. Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie, mist-locked kingdom of Blunder. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient, mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her. He keeps her secrets. But nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elspeth meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, she is thrust into a world of shadow and deception. Together they embark on a dangerous quest to cure the town of Blunder from the dark magic infecting it. As the stakes heighten and their undeniable attraction intensifies, Elspeth is forced to face her darkest secrets yet. The nightmare is slowly, darkly taking over her mind, and she might not be able to stop him. So yeah, it's a romance essay, I think. So yeah, this is the last book on my official February TBR. So happy reading, everyone, and I will see you soon. Xingling!